honors here.
We've been trying to get this guy on for a while. He's made a lot of videos we've enjoyed enjoyed on this program. Very funny guy, very based. Barricade Garage is joining us today.
Barricade
here
Garage
on the program. As we like to say.
Yes. I believe we have him here. Hey, you there, buddy?
We get the good guests.
Looks like you're muted, but I think you could hear us. There he is. Hey, what's up, man?
Hold on 1 second.
Nah, do what you got to do. All right, let's see here. Boom. There you go. There you are. Hey, we see you. You're good.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Welcome to the show finally, man.
Thanks for being on.
Wanting to get you on for a while, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm like a recluse. I don't really like people, so I gotta warm up the people before I just start jumping on, dude. That's why I don't got no interviews out there.
Is that why all your sketches only have you in them? Because you just can't work with others?
Yeah, that's one reason. But I mean, I pretty much took a model that I seen other content creators doing and condensing longer videos into shorter videos, and then putting a comedic twist on it, and then putting that out, and then doing it themselves as like a form of like entertainment that started going viral back in the Vine days. So I just took that and I just started doing that with politics and different other ideas that I had. But that's how I started doing that.
So I have a question. At what point did you decide at some point that you've just had enough? Because you said some pretty spicy shit on your channel, and there are times where I'm like, this is a man who's had enough.
Man, I mean, so I started off working on cars. Mm-hmm. I did my thing because I'm a mobile mechanic, and I was working in the shop at the time, so I wanted to do something. My first channel name was called Barricade Bill, and I named it Barricade after my Jeep because I went to go pick up this Jeep for $1,100 in Baltimore. I picked it up. It was night. I was looking at it. I was like, yo, it kind of reminded me of Barricade the Transformer. Boom. Barricade was born. That's my Jeep's name. So I was doing little things to it, fixing it up, and Barricade Bill. So I started vlogging that, recording my repairs on that outside of work. And then before I knew it, I started getting views on that, and I wanted to broaden my scope and make it just about more stuff than Jeeps. So then Barricade Garage came into play. So a garage is just basically something that it's a place you go to get your car fixed, but it's also, I say it in the sense that men go to talk and, do other things like a barbershop, rec yard, etc. So I just kept hearing about the coronavirus was my breaking point. I just kept hearing about all the bullshit, all that I know to be fake, false, phony. And what no one was really, that I knew of, was really touching on the type of things that I wanted to touch on. So I decided to come out and talk about those things in a way after some of my favorite content creators like Caleb City, King Vader, and people like that. So that's where my first sketches came into play. And I had a passion for it, but at the time, my auto repair following, they didn't like it. Like, they didn't think it was funny. So they didn't think it was funny. So my auto repair videos was getting like thousands of views. My skits at first was getting like 50, 60 views. But it was something I enjoyed doing. I didn't care about the money. That was where my heart was. So it wasn't until, well, y'all know the story how I blew up. Sometimes it takes somebody bigger than you to put you on, or to notice you, or mention you, or to share you on their community post and put their subscriber base on to you. Now you got an instant following. And I just went up from there. But the same people that were sharing my work, they found out that I'm not tame. So, you can't just stuff me in a box because I'm not going to adhere to the rules that you want me to follow. So now I'm kind of here doing what I still do, and you know, that's pretty much how I started, though.
And I, you know, it's funny you say that, because that's what I was going to bring up next. Is we do find, and I'm sure you know this, with a lot of people, like, you know, they blow up in a subscriber base. Like, let's take a Ben Shapiro retweets you, for example. Let's use him as an example. He retweets you, and then a lot of these people, they just kind of morph to the will of that community, where it's like, oh, okay, well, I need to pander this way, and I need to pander this way. I need to have these sets of views. Like, I was actually watching your live stream, I think it was yesterday, when you were calling out Republicans. You're like, how can you be the party of free speech and then, you know, not stand up for the Klan? And how can you? And I thought that, have you gotten a lot of backlash from people like, oh, so, you know, Republicans are actually great? For example, you did a video yesterday where you were talking about how capitalism leads into socialism, right?
Right.
And I saw a lot of people were not happy with that statement.
No, they weren't happy. But see, when you got somebody like me who has dealt with real adversity, I'm not scared of what the naysayers and people in the comment section. I'm not scared of my own subscriber base. And just because you like me doesn't mean I'm not going to like somebody that you don't like. I'm not scared to blend between those lines, if that's the word I'm looking for. But my thoughts is, I speak my thoughts because a lot of people are scared to do that. And I feel like the conversation has become so kindergarten that when somebody like me comes on and says the things that I say, those same people who champion free speech, they'll often need a safe space. So now you got to run Awaken with JP channel, get some of that type of comment. It's safe. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm going to say things, I may talk about you, or I'm going to say things that make you think. Now, a lot of people didn't like the video on my capitalism leads to socialism, but I wasn't saying it as a definite, like that's what I hardcore believe. I was just sharing my thoughts. And in a community of individuals, you have those type of philosophers that share ideas like that. Like, I'm noticing a pattern. I didn't read a book on that. There's nobody I follow who stated that. As a matter of fact, before I did it, I felt like I'd get a lot of backlash from my own base because they're mostly conservative for even pointing out some things in capitalism. But like a lot of people said, they don't feel like this is truly capitalism. Some of them double down. It's like, yeah, it is capitalism, but what you can't deny is that this shit is fucked up and everybody can be bought. I just use YouTubers on a small scale like that to show you how on a bigger scale things can get out of control when the love of money is in your heart. Another thing about my free speech video I didn't touch on is the Israel topic. A lot of people will say, well, I know for a fact a lot of conservatives, they don't like that.
Oh, they'll tense up.
They
like
hate
it.
And the funny thing is it's even if you just say the word, they go, oof, and everyone starts looking down.
They look at their feet.
I haven't even said anything yet. I just said Israel, and everybody's like, hey, I'm out of this conversation. I got to go count my super chats. I'm out.
And that's how it'll be. But I feel like to open up people's minds and expose people to ideas in order to like find solutions to combat certain shit. Some shit you gotta peel the Band-Aid off of certain wounds and expose it, let it get some air. So I'm talking about it, and it's not that I'm anti-Semitic. I don't hate Jews, but at the same time, of course, I'm gonna talk about it because I do have a comedic aspect to me, and you're not supposed to talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about it because it's taboo. Because I feel like comedy comes from a place of darkness. No. It's not that I hate Jews. I don't hate Jews. I'm going to talk shit about them just like I talk shit about black people. Everybody know that. White people. Y'all going to get it the same way. It's equality.
You know, it's true because that's the way that I see it too. It's like whenever somebody tells you, don't talk about this, don't talk about this, don't talk about this, like, I don't know if it is anymore, but I think it used to be human instinct of like, that's all I want to talk about now. Like, I wouldn't even thought about it, but when a big group of people starts telling you like, oh, you know, you can't criticize these people, then you go, well, wait a second, why not? And then honestly, I think it kind of fuels the fire more. It's like, oh, so the people that control the media and TV and everything are telling you you're not allowed to talk about them. it makes me uneasy, you know, where you're like, well, why can't we joke about this? Like, you could joke about anything that you want. You could put Martin Lawrence in a fucking dress, and that's hilarious. But the moment you fucking say, you say like, hey, you know, maybe we're giving a little bit too much to Israel. It's like, oh, what are you, anti-Semitic? You don't believe the Holocaust happened? You're like, whoa, relax.
I mean, not me, I don't. But see, people are getting my shit about that. There's a lot of bullshit with that. Then when you start banning speech around it, you start having penalties like jail time for questioning it. Then now it's like, now I gotta talk about it. But see, the problem is what they do to us is they'll let black people, somebody black like me, say those type of things. Somebody white, you can't say those type of things. Your shit deleted, gone. And I think that too enforces the victim narrative. Now they're earth bending us. It's like they'll prop up one group, and when their time comes, silence. Bring them down, bring up the next group. And when their time comes, silence, gone. Now you got black nationalists, white nationalists. Now is the time for one group and not the time for the next group. Pretty soon, it's not going to be the time for no group because nobody stands up for free speech.
No,
so I mean,
and that's exactly the point. Like, you know, we talk about, like, for example, like Crenshaw, who's like, oh, everything's free speech, and then when he started telling people like, hey, don't question Israel, you're gonna regret that you said that. It's like, what happened, Mr. Free Speech? You're not that free speech.
Yeah, when he's sending veiled threats to college kids, it's like, okay, dude, aren't you? He's literally like just like veiled threats, like he's the Godfather on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you're tagging college kids, like you're a congressman from Texas, you're bullying college kids, like you're a veteran, for fuck's sake. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, so that I want to touch something you brought up, which I think it's a really good point. Do you think you get away with more because you're in what they perceive a protected class? Like, do you think?
Yeah, but yeah, you're absolutely right. The certain type of black people get away with saying, it's not all of them. Certain they pick and choose. That's why I say they're earth bending us. It's like they'll raise some up and lower some down. That keeps you even more divided. So now you got somebody saying the exact same things you believe and you want to say, but you got to hate on him because you can't say it. And that keeps you mad at your fellow countrymen instead of the people manipulating the speech. It's just like how I did the live stream and I was talking about the word, perfectly acceptable word, back in slavery. Wasn't no slave mad that Massa called them. If slave got to running away, Massa hop out, stop that. I mean, it wasn't like the slave stopped. It was like, nobody was indignant. It was the action behind the word. It wasn't even the word. Fast forward, they manipulate and change what's acceptable and what's not. They manipulate culture. Fast forward, we have the word Negro. You see all types of tapes with Malcolm X. He doing interviews. And the white man calling him a Negro. Now you get on TV, you can't say Negro. You can't say that. Now they're saying people of color. They're back to calling us colored. Like it was a time you couldn't say that. That was offensive. So
yeah, and like, now they're saying maskless party goers. You know what I mean? They're always changing. Right, it's confusing.
So they're going to manipulate the speech and they're going to change definitions to suit their agendas. And you got to be wise to see through that. That's why I said what we need is understanding. That's why I'm not a sellout. I'm not none of these things because I've actually been in the position for which to defend my ideas and what I believe in. That's why I told, like, they want to say I'm a coon. You can't say that until you stand in a room full of angry white people that's built like Nappa from Dragon Ball Z and tell them I'm going to beat the fuck out of you because you oppressing me. Won't never do that. I did that shit. I was about that shit. And when you do it, you get no satisfaction from it. You can see through the bullshit. You got to go through some shit to see through the bullshit. That's why I can say with a hard ER. If people get mad, oh, don't say that. Conservatives don't like this shit. Don't say that. You're enabling white people to say that. I don't give a fuck. They gonna say what they want. You think the white people say they ain't saying it because you said don't say it?
Well, and
everybody's saying that shit.
And that's you know it's that's the biggest problem. I know you touched on a little bit of one of your live streams, but that's the biggest problem I think with conservatives or Republicans is that they have no teeth. Like they have no teeth. They want to talk about free speech and they want to talk about all this, but people remember that not long ago it was conservatives that were telling you, you know, put a parental advisory. Rap music is evil. It's like it's all the same thing. It's just a back and forth, and it's like, oh no, we want free speech. But if Lindsey Graham were to come out and drop an N-bomb, no conservative is going to stand up for him. Nobody. They're not going to go, oh, leave him alone. They'll be like, well, what he did was wrong and it was racist, and they talk about free speech, but in the end, if you really want to believe in free speech, like look at the ACLU is a great example. The ACLU now is a fucking joke. The ACLU used to defend the Klan marching in Kentucky. They'd be like, they have a right to do it, and that's really defending speech. Nobody defends speech anymore.
Yeah, and I would say Lindsey Graham strikes me as the kind of guy that always has an N-word like loaded in the chamber.
Oh yeah,
like it's always ready to go. You know what I mean? And he's done a good job for 30 years of not saying it. But don't get it fucked up. He's got one in the chamber at all times.
He does talk like a gay plantation owner.
No, he really does. I feel like people should just be like fanning him and feeding him like fucking handing him mint juleps and shit.
Nah, I feel that way about a lot of people. But like I was watching this video today early on YouTube, and the title was "White Woman Doesn't Apologize for Using the N-Word." And they showed the scenario. It was like a fucking Waffle House somewhere in the South.
Of course.
You had Keisha and Shaquita. They was over, I don't know the fucking names, I don't know. They was over here being unruly as fuck, right? So the older white woman, she was like, yo, can you keep it down, please? And Bone Please, she got mad. She was like, oh, nah, fucking cracker. And she was like, you're a stupid. And she walked off. So look, I don't know fucking now you got Shaquita. I don't know they didn't. And then I don't know how the fuck the news cameras always catch up to these people, but they catch up, put a camera in her face. They was like, do you apologize for calling Keisha? She was like, no. She was like, the news anchor was like, well, do you realize that that's offensive? And she was like, fuck yeah, that's why I said it. To offend them. Because they offended me. And I feel like if you're in an argument, you're supposed to say the most offensive shit possible. You know that's a button for them, so I'm gonna call you. Don't make you a racist. It don't mean you hate black people. You just now I see it like that. Certain people don't, and that's their prerogative. But where you at?
But I think we could all agree though that it is disappointing to hear people looking down on other races in a Waffle House because frankly you're all in a Waffle House, right? So exactly. You know what I mean? Like nobody should really be flinging any insults based on race or religion. You're literally all in a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
You've made some bad decisions in your life.
Don't be fucking throwing stones from your glass Waffle House.
Exactly. And Roy Mersh, I fought with you from a while back before I even knew about y'all because I had a subscriber. They subscribed to you guys. They came on my channel. They was like, oh, ROTC. I kept seeing I was like, what the fuck is a ROTC? It's like Revenge of the Sis. They talk about, so I went on there and like the first that video you did, you played my video.
Yeah.
I was like, let me stick around. And then you made the joke about the Hodge twins.
Oh, yeah.
So do you not know I was on the floor laughing my ass off? That shit is legendary. It gets shit like that, then it gets you canceled. But that shit is funny. The world needs shit like that. We used to be able to joke with each other like that. Nowadays, you gonna have more white people offended you said that than black people. And that's what's crazy, but that shit was funny. So I was like, yo, I like this guy. So I stuck around. And y'all didn't disappoint. I heard you talking about, you sound just like Fauci too. I heard him on earlier. Y'all was covering one of his videos.
Yeah.
And then when I went to look you up, here you go talking about fucking Nicole Arbor. I can't stand this bitch. This bitch needs to get better equipment in her apartment. I hear city buses. look at this bitch. She has a punchable face. And then you sit up here and you play, I know you fucking hate Nicole Arbor. Then you play Fauci, and fucking Fauci, we need to reassess the data and figure out that we have these a group of people, the mass. We need to. He's sitting there straight. He sounds just like you. I was like, yo, that's Mersh. It was fucking Fauci. I was like, y'all sound alike.
I do have a sort of like the Roger Rabbit syndrome where I know I'll get in trouble for saying something, but if it's funny, it's like I can't help it.
It's a tick.
It's literally like the scene where he's tapping and doing shaving a haircut, and I'm just going, I gotta fuck it. I have to do it. I have to do it. It's like I can't control it. So yeah, I did say that the Hodge twins reminded me of escaped slaves, but you know, they do have a bit of a charm to them. But the thing is, too, when people take it personally, and like we have a lot of people that hate the show because we'll mock them or we'll make fun of them. But in the same regard, like if I met the Hodge twins somewhere, I'd buy them a drink. I'd say hello. You know what I mean? Like it's like people take the shit we say and they go, "Oh, I bet you hate those guys." And I'm like, no, I'm just looking at what's in front of me and I'm goofing on it. It's the same way as like Mystery Science Theater 3000. I don't think they hated any of those filmmakers. You're just watching it and goofing on it. But if I meet any of those people, I'd be like, yeah, what's up, man? Let me buy you a drink. Like, sorry, I goofed on you. It's just kind of what I do.
Yeah, that's how I took it. I took it as entertainment. But it is funny because you need different opinions like that on some certain things. Like sometimes y'all do something, y'all run a piece that'll be massively popular, and y'all come in and criticize that shit. That's balance. I love it. I fucking love. Like people hate me. Make a video about me. I might want to hear it. People say I don't read comments because people be saying fucked up shit about you in your comments. I read them shits. Some people be hurting my fucking feelings. But I read that shit. I listen. I learn. I may not read all of them, but I do. But we need balance like that. Just like when y'all was talking about Tom McDonald video. A lot of people gonna hate you for not liking that. It's like everybody don't have to like everything. Some people you just don't fucking like. Some people you want to punch out. Some people you talk about, but you still like them. Some of your family members that way.
Of course.
You hate them, but you love them. You talk about them, but you still punch them out. That's how me and my sister are. We got a great relationship, but I see myself punching her out a couple times throughout the course of our relationship. Amen. Oh, she a dyke. She ain't no shit. She a rumble. She a fight. Like she a nigga. But that's how it is. We need that balance. That's why I like that. That's why I watch the show.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because the term that I think that I'm fucking so sick of hearing the most is because we goof on everybody, right? And I'm sick of people saying like, "Don't punch right, don't punch right." I'm like, I don't give a fuck if Tom McDonald's gonna be out there like looking like a retard. We're gonna make fun of him. You know what I mean? Like. It's that Tom McDonald's a great example because we brought that up. It's like everyone's like, look how based he is. Like, no, the fuck he's not. He's doing fucking Ben Shapiro and Crowder talking points. He's not really, in my opinion, not talking about what if he was look. That's why we talked about it with you. It's like. You say what's on your fucking mind. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Tom McDonald is always like, oh, the elites. Yeah, but who are the elites, Tom? Be specific.
Tom McDonald is just Charlie Kirk with face tattoos. That's all he is.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
hurtful.
all he is.
That's hurtful.
Damn.
Charlie Kirk with face tattoos.
And maybe larger teeth.
Yeah.
Y'all good cop, bad cop shit. Royce come in with the balance. He give people a chance. And then here comes Mersh, sounding like Fauci. You just obliterate people.
I'm the one that beats you with a phone book while you're handcuffed to a table.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I walk in and I go, hey, sorry, man, Mersh is a hot shot. Look, I want to get you out of here.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want a Sprite? You want some Burger King? We'll get you out of here. We'll get you out of here. You don't want Mersh to come back in.
Mersh wants off the leash on this one. And I said, look, man, you know.
Fucking Royce with the Newport 100s, and here comes Mersh with the right hook. That's y'all.
Royce is the one that comes up to you and goes, hey, man, you got the time? And then I'm the one that comes up and just, BOW! Just starts taking, go 3 pockets.
Fucking balance. We need it.